Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the guy Professor O coming through with a dose of that good. Yo, come everywhere like broken glass. I'm around like a circle. Anyway, anyhow, let's get down to this round now. Today, I want to talk about, for the love of God, do not be spiteful. And I really had to read that, right? Because, all right, first and foremost, listen here, listen clear. Don't be spiteful. Don't be petty. Don't be grudgeful. Don't have vengeance. Don't have revenge. Let God take care of that because that is what He wants to do. The reason why first and foremost, I want to get this out. The reason why God takes care of it is because He doesn't want you to be tainted by something so foolish. He wants you to stay official. He wants you to stay cool. He wants you to stay smooth. This is why he wants you. Now, he wants you to learn from the experience and what you experience of, but he doesn't want you to take on those traits. He wants you to be able to discern it, handle it, and move accordingly. Now, when individuals take on these traits, they become so heavy. They become so weightful. And it sucks, man. It really, really sucks because not only does it damage your personality and who you are overall as a person, it just hinders your cognitive ability tremendously. It really, really does. And I, I digress. It sucks. It exists. It's out there. However, you know I am long-winded. So let's move forward on now. You already know I got the handy notebook at the spot. Please do not make it hot. I feel like I'm missing something. Anyway, anyhow, let's run that back. Let's put this back. Anyway, anyhow, let's get down to this round now. I got the handy dandy notebook up in the spot. Please do not make it hot. Who writes in spirit? Clearly, your boy still does. Don't hit me because you. Oh, there we go. They maybe need levitate or meditate. Never deviate, never say. Appreciate, yes, hate, no. Because you know I got that flow. The glow is always on a roll and never slow. Can you dig what I'm saying? I think you can. Anyway, anyhow, let's get down to this round now. There are those who truly are petty and miserable and unfortunately do the most for attention. And it really is a sick trait to carry because when there are those who are already petty, they're already vengeful, they're hateful, they have things in their heart and their mind that's just consistently festering. Now, these are individuals that literally do not do the inner work and they don't want to do the inner work. It's just what it is. But when they have these traits that's in them and it's sitting in them and they didn't do the inner work on top of that, it becomes very hindering. And again, remember, those who don't do the inner work, they seek out to be able to validate who they are and to gain comfort or to cure or remedy whatever symptoms that they may go through, may it be physical or psychological. Although most diseases and things that can be handled can be psychologically remedied. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that you can meditate and think away your problems. Most you can, and at a high very percentage you can. But again, please do see professional help, whether it be physiological or psychological. Just want to get that disclaimer out, all right? Anyway, anyhow, let's continue down this route now. But they are very vengeful and they keep that in. And when they keep that in, you got to realize their cognitive ability is surrounded by laboring towards that petty, spiteful agenda. Now it's in them. And being that it's inside of them, they're not going to be able to literally see an entire picture. They're not really well-rounded individuals. They may be able to pretend to be, but then when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, when it gets down to things that are really, really of the light, they won't be able to actually operate in it because they're so blotched and blinded by so many foolish things. Really, it's really, really sad. But anyway, anyhow, I want to continue down this right now because I got a few points that I want to cover. Trust when I tell you they are their own punishment. And what I mean by that is that you got to realize they're already hurting. They're already in pain. They're already damaging themselves. They're kamikazing themselves at all times because they don't know how to get over it. You got to realize it takes more muscles to frown than to smile. Literally, it works. It is individuals that they can get themselves mad. And I used to actually be a part of that situation, not to the extent of what I'm telling you, because I was never very a vengeful or spiteful individual. I just don't care that much. It's just too much cognitive ability to even add towards it. But there are those out there that can think themselves mad or pseudo scenarios, and especially when you're giving fuel to the fire. Oh my goodness, these individuals here would just be yada 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 yada. Next thing you know, they ready and blazing, and then they just. It's very sad and it's very unfortunate, but they do exist. So what I am here to say is that they are their own punishment because they are hurting themselves already. Literally, they don't know how to project themselves, and the only time they do project themselves is if they're pouring their own insecurities onto others. So hopefully that they can mirror some type of sympathy, or they can be able to utilize a top, most likely take advantage of it with like mediocre psychological warfare, which doesn't really benefit anybody that's dealing with the situation at hand, especially them. But you got to realize a lot of individuals don't want to seek help or get better because they already accepted the fact that this is something like they are. Well, this is just me, or I'm just human, accept yourself, or look at me. Nah, I don't want to hear that. That's an excuse. That means you didn't want to grow anymore because the minute you started to grow, it felt uncomfortable. You may have felt fear. You may have felt some type of anxiety. Something happened to the point that it's hindering, and it was a challenge for you to grow. So instead of you growing, you accepted the dirt for what it is, and then you took it on, and then now you became a part of it. And now you're looking at anyone that wants to do better to be able to be an excuse that, oh, I gotta do this because you think you better. It just gets very, very ridiculous. It really, really does. But I digress. This is such a, I be feeling such an unfortunate trait. It really is. Never match their ways, ever. Never. Never, ever match their ways. I don't care what you don't fight fire with fire. That's how the fight gets bigger. It doesn't make sense. Be smooth, be cool, be calm. Because at the same time, that's what they can't handle. You got to realize when you're dealing with individuals like that, it becomes demonic warfare here. Because these individuals here, more so spiritual warfare. When you're dealing with a lot of demons that are inside these individuals and they don't even know it. Now you got to realize when people say demons, you got to realize traits are demonic if they're not positive, if they're not of good nature more so. Literally, because you're taking on a different persona or different attributes that'll alter your persona. And if it alters your persona in a negative way, it's changing who you are in a negative way. And if you're not acting or behaving or performing or being who you truly are from your core, then you're putting on something that's not even yours. And if you're putting on something that's not even yours, it's going to be custom tailored, and it's just going to be attracting things that's not of who you are. It really, really isn't. And never match their ways, because you don't want to ever come down to pity patty and chatter with things that doesn't really matter. Always remember this: the enemy or anything that's demonic does not have patience. And if it does have patience, it's literally buying time. Like, and what I mean by buying time, you can tell they're always rushing. Things that are just of good nature are patient, and you can tell there are those who pretend to have patience, and there are those who actually practice patience. And for those that actually practice patience, you can feel it. Something gives off like a very calming aura. Those who are pretending to be patient, you can understand, like, it's something about it, like, oh yeah, I feel like they're waiting, but it's like walking on eggshells for some reason. So you'll be able to feel it. You can discern it if you just listen a little bit closely. And God will always peak something towards your awareness that's custom tailored to you for you to be able to have understanding of your situation. So what may work for another may not exactly work for you. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you will never get hints and awareness of what's actually happening, because again, God will always custom tailor your awareness to the situation for you to pick up the same answer or result. I digress, right? Let's move on. You know I'm long-winded now. Hold on. Let's keep it going. All right, let's keep it going now. These folks are so delusional and vengeful, they'll make themselves look stupid in every way. And I mean that, because you got to realize, when you do not entertain, when you do not match their energy, when you do not fight fire with fire, foolishness with foolishness, and you always stay high above, and then you also are calm, a soft answer turns away wrath, or hard force stares of anger, just an example. When you're really living in that, and you're really speaking to the situation on the adversary that's happening in hand, understand that this isn't about dealing with the vessel, you're dealing with spiritual principles here. So their spiritual principles may be misaligned, and you also got to test the spirit to know that you're either dealing with the spirit of truth or the spirit of error. So when you're dealing with the spirit of error and understanding that these individuals just don't, they'll never equal up to truth. They won't equal up to the nous, to the pneuma, to the logos. They won't equal up to that. It's just, they can't. It's the intra-Trinitarian perfected. I digress. They won't be able to really deal with it. They can't. Hold on, I've written something down. Give me one moment. They won't be able to deal with it. And unfortunately, when you're answering them calmly, when you're truly getting to the solution of the situation instead of going back and forth, unfortunately for them, they'll find themselves in foolish, stupid. It just looks pathetic. It really, really does. And it's very embarrassing for them on their part. You got to realize anytime, this is why, listen, you can't, anything that's happening dirt, you can't run a dirt, you can't play a dirty game on an honest life form, on an honest walk of life, pretty much. It doesn't work. It won't equal up. It can't equal up because you got to realize when someone's honest and they're coming from good intentions, they're operating in their potentiality. So you can never ever pinpoint exactly what they're going to do because it's true. They may do something that leads toward the most estimated honest result, or they may not, but it still dwells in honesty and good nature. And when it's in good nature, you can't predict good nature. You can predict bad nature because it's operating from emotions and the larceny inside the heart. But when you're dealing with good nature, you always, well, he'll do the right thing. Oh, he'll do this, that. But when it's genuinely true and good, it's very unpredictable in the most positive way. It's just what it is. So when you're dealing with situations like that and you're dealing from a point of honesty, you got to realize when you're dealing in individuals that's operating in that type of realm, their cognitive ability isn't clouded by hate, jealousy, envy, wrath, gluttonous, etc. so forth. It's not clouded. So being that it's not clouded, they're able to perceive things a little bit faster, a little bit differently. And they're also able to get to a certain idea, a certain point a little bit faster because they're not clouded. They don't have to go through so many trials and tribulations inside their own mind to get to a solution. But when you're dealing with individuals who are filled with jealousy, envy, wrath, gluttonous, whatever the case may be, they won't be able to really get to a point as fast, or their point will always be based off what that individual will be able to profit from. And sometimes, and most of the times in the case may be, when you're dealing with good nature, they're not thinking about what themselves can prosper. They think about how all can prosper. Now, of course, when they gain mental development and experience of going through life and walking through life, they also understand they can't pour from an empty cup, but they're still very good natured. That's nonetheless arguable. In every single way, the enemy will always look stupid because you got to realize when you're dealing with God's elect, they're not fighting for victory, they're fighting from it. The battle is already won. The enemy has to work 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying their hardest to equal up or to sway or prolong anything that God's elect has already been ordained and it's already been granted for. That's just what it is. I'm long-winded. I was very on point, so I had to wrap that up, all right? I ended right there with that. Are we on the next point? Yes, we are. When there are those who are bitter and can't heal, one has to come from them. Remember, when you're dealing with individuals that are bitter and they're truly like you can see, you can feel like they're holding on to so many shoulder boulders, you got to realize you can only give them grace just as God has given you grace. You can't truly heal. They have to heal it. Because anything that you will do towards them or for them or towards their benefit, they'll take it as disrespect. They'll take it as offense. They'll take it as so much that's happening. And they won't ever see the goodness of what's happening. They'll only see that, who does this individual think he is? Like, what's going on? Like I don't need you. I don't this, that. They're so attached and personalized by the interaction instead of being overstanding it, pretty much. I don't even use that term, but and this, I guess, in the sequence, it will be a little bit more correct to speak. Instead of being over it, to be able to see it wholly, they're in it and they're interacting and they're taking responsibility of the interaction, and they don't want responsibility for it because it just doesn't equal to their own personal benefit. Remember, the enemy will always rush things. Evil will always be in a rush, while God's elect will always walk with confidence and faith because they know it's already guaranteed. They're just getting it. Simple as that. They have a guaranteed seat. They have a guaranteed ticket. They have guaranteed blessings. It's already been guaranteed. All they have to do is get there. All they got to do is show up. That's just what it is. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Again, this message was for that depth out there. For the master, the expert, the proficient, the efficient, the self-efficient. The one that's always doing it and never losing it. That's growing, is growing, is going at all times. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. And remember, speak good, do good, see good. When it is good, it's all good. Can you dig it? And for the haters out there that love looking at your boy, make sure you're looking like yourself. Because you know that I am sexy. Can you dig what I'm saying? I think you can. Peace, love, and light. I'll see you guys in the next video.